All right, we are about 2 minutes away from the end of the trading day. Katie Greifeld and Matt Miller, he's in for Romaine Bostic. Here to help take us through the closing bell, we're joined by a global simulcast. Carol Massar and Isabelle Lee in for Tim Stenovic. We bring together all of our different audiences, Carol, and we were just talking about how we were so close to seeing another green finish for the S&P 500, but those trade tensions coming back in a big way just in the last 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, the president putting out on social about soybeans in China, and so the tit for tat continues. Yeah, keeping an eye on that. Having said that, guys, with big banks starting to report, not everybody got a warm reception on Wall Street. You do see the KBW Bank Index up about 1.7%, so we are seeing some outperformance as a whole when it comes to the bank names.
And I've been driving Carol crazy by talking about crypto all the time, but
Not
crypto
crazy.
is also red on the screen. Bitcoin is down by almost 3%. Ethereum is leading the broader downturn after Friday when the industry saw one of the worst sell-offs in history. They're also all down. It's basically red on the screen. If you type CRYP, go.
That's interesting. You do have gold actually rising. And I look at that because when you say Bitcoin now, I think debasement trade, right? But gold is actually up 0.75%. So spot is at 41.41, which, if I'm not mistaken, would be yet another record high for the yellow metal.
It has been just nuts trying to follow gold so far this year. I mean, you've had twin rallies when it comes to gold, when it comes to equities, and that's certainly what you're seeing today, or you had been relative to the last 15 minutes. Anyway, the S&P 500, it will finish just slightly lower, just about 0.1%. We are very close to all-time highs, even with that puke that we did see on Friday. The NASDAQ down a bit more, down about 0.7% when it comes to the NASDAQ. The Dow Jones, we look at that for some reason, higher by about 0.5%. It's a price-weighted index, so I don't know how much salt you want to put there. But in any case, Carol, it looks like we did see that decline, but very, very tepid losses overall.
Katie, hating on the Dow again. I'm just going to put it out there.
Myself.
I know. S&P 500, let's go back there, folks. Despite down for the day overall, you look inside the index, Matt, and you've got 389 names actually in the S&P 500 gaining ground today. 113 to the downside, 1 unchanged.
I was a young buck doing my first Wall Street internship at Tucker Anthony.
Tell me more.
A John Hancock company, back when the Dow crossed through 6,000.
What did you do? How did you celebrate?
And you know what? I was the guy in the office. I was the kid who could use the Bloomberg terminal.
Wow.
And so that was like my only skill, and I didn't do much else.
Did they call you Maddie back then? I just called you Maddie on air when we were getting ready to come to you.
Guys.
I don't think so. Here's the IMAP, which is a look at the industry group breakdown on the S&P 500. You can see that the tech stocks are not saving the day, down about 1.5%. Although the index is only down by 0.2%. So you did have more groups winning than losing. And as Carol points out, the financials are the biggest gainers, up about 1.2%, even though JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs both fell after earnings that beat analysts' estimates.
Right, kind of impressive to see that. All right, so let's get to, Matt kind of setting me up really well. Let's get to some of the individual gainers, if I may. So we know that Citi and JP Morgan and Goldman not having such a great day and not getting such a warm reception on Wall Street. Having said that, Citigroup and Wells Fargo certainly did. They showed some outperformance. Citi at the close here up 3.9%. Wells Fargo, a gain of more than 7%, some real outperformance. Wells Fargo, by the way, the top gainer in the S&P 500 today. You did have them beating Wall Street revenue estimates across all 5 of its major business lines. Total revenue jumping 9%. Markets, banking services. I mean, these companies really some outperformance. For Wells Fargo, we talked to Allison Williams here on Bloomberg Business Week Daily. And, you know, finally, it seems like they are just kind of getting their house in order and their metrics really impressive. And because we know that they've had a couple of years where it's been really, really tough. So anyway, real outperformance in those, and we get ready for some more big banks tomorrow. Advanced Micro was up 4%, finishing the day with a gain of about 0.8%. Top gainer in the stocks today. AMD coming out saying Oracle will deploy a large batch of its forthcoming M1450 chips next year. So Oracle is going to put about 50,000 of those semiconductors and data center computers starting in the third quarter of 2026. So we've just seen a lot of announcements between chip companies and other companies involving AI. And that's
by the way, who
one.
even knows, like, who
What?
even knows how much that is, 50,000? Is that a lot of chips? Is that a little chips?
I don't know.
We throw around these massive numbers, right, with about gigawatts of power, and I no longer know 50,000 chips is a lot.
It does make your head spin.
I've just got to say, Ian King, I'm watching a monitor, and he's just getting ready and set up and sitting down. We're going to actually ask that question to him in just a moment. And Walmart, got to mention them, up about 5% in today's session. Stock on pace, I think they closed maybe at a record high today. And that's after an AI announcement from the retail giant, which we will get to more on that in just a moment.
Let's get to decliners. We have shares of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac ending the day lower, with each stock seeing their fourth straight day of losses. Fannie Mae is down by 8%. Freddie Mac is down by nearly 10%. Bloomberg Intelligence says that investors are finally starting to see dilution risks. So in August, Bloomberg reported that the Trump administration is considering selling shares of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac in an offering that could start as early as this year. Up next, we have Orion. I should have asked Carol how to pronounce that, but shares are tumbling down. They were down as much as 23%. That's the lowest intraday since August 2024, but they closed the day lower by just 16%. So this company supplies chemical products like carbon black for coatings, painting inks, rubber, and other applications for electric vehicles. So the company cut their guidance. That comes as management reduces production levels and as we see continued weakness in the tire industry.
Orion.
Is it Orion?
It's the hunter whom Diana loves.
Thank you. I should have asked you, Matt. Yeah. Okay. Last, we have Cencor. It's down by more than 10%, 10.9, almost 11. That it tumbled as much as 17% intraday, most since May. So this comes after RBC said that a leaked abstract for the biotech's experimental antibody for patients with renal cell carcinoma, maybe Matt would know more about that also, may suggest interplay, and the future efficacy will determine path forward. That was really a mouthful.
Okay, let's get to the bond
Well
market.
done.
It was
Well
actually
done.
open today, not like yesterday. We can actually check yields right now, and you can see there was a little bit of a rally when you take a look at the front end of the yield curve. We did hear from Fed Chair Jerome Powell basically saying that we could see further declines in job openings that might show up in unemployment, but overall, it seems like rate cut expectations pretty much unchanged versus where we were yesterday. A slight rally when it comes to the front end, a little bit of weakness when it comes to the ultimate long end, but overall, a pretty quiet day overall when it comes to the bond market, Carol.
All right, welcome, world, to your new search engine. This story we've been talking about here at Bloomberg. Walmart partnering with OpenAI. Who isn't partnering with OpenAI at this point to offer shopping on ChatGPT? So users will be able to basically shop Walmart's assortment directly on ChatGPT by clicking a buy button, with the catalog including apparel, entertainment, packaged food, and other products. But I just do feel like we need to think about ChatGPT as just our new search engine.
Or Claude.
Or
Claude.
Or Gemini, or right?
Llama.
My main gripe here is that fresh food isn't included in the offering, partly because consumers buy similar products weekly. But that's exactly why it should be, because I do my shopping online, grocery shopping, and I forgot to order eggs last night. I mean, I want AI to remind me that every week you need to order eggs. So I think they should include that.
It's coming.
Well, I also use ChatGPT to cook. Do you not use ChatGPT for recipes?
I don't cook or use ChatGPT.
It's helpful. So in that case, I agree with you, Isabelle.
I will say it is amazing to see Walmart shares react so strongly to this news, closing up at a record high, up nearly 5%. If only OpenAI was a public company, we could check in on those shares as well. I would imagine they'd be skyrocketing. But
wait, when you say fresh food, does that include Pop-Tarts?
Good segue.
Or Doritos?
I don't know if Pop-Tarts count as fresh food.
Definitely not, Katie.
But good news, they're going to have more protein. This is a really interesting story coming out of Kellanova. That is your Pop-Tart maker, that apparently the new versions of Pop-Tarts will have 10 grams of protein per serving in 3 different flavors, which is exciting for the subset of the population that is really into protein right now. I am among them. I don't know if I will be trying protein Pop-Tarts, but you saw Starbucks, for example, recently introduced protein lattes and protein cold foam. It's everywhere.
Have you tried a protein latte?
Of course I have, Isabelle. It costs too much money. They're not bad, I have to say.
Tasted dusty to me.
I'm just going to point out in this story, it says that the sugar content will be similar to regular Pop-Tarts, which have about 30 grams of sugar per serving, depending on the flavor. That's roughly 60% of the recommended daily intake.
It's not health food.
But 200 calories a serving, 10 grams of protein in 200 calories, that's pretty good.
Relative to the benchmark, which is a normal Pop-Tart, it's not bad.
But maybe we should get protein from Real Protein.
Yeah, maybe we should be eating
saying.
those eggs that Isabelle forgot to buy.
Tuna.
Like eggs. That's Real Protein.
Exactly. Thank you.
There you go.
Just going to say.